Hi crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming. I hope you are having a wonderful day. On this video, we're gonna do some fun things. We're gonna create a little picket fence or a little picket fence garden looking sign. And then we're going to make some new flowers. Yay! So, as you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. Feel free to sprinkle, all that normal jazz. Okay, so stay with me. I will be back shortly to show you these new flowers. Look at these. So I'll be back to, we'll do this after we do the picket fence, okay? So that's what we're gonna do first. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you guys are crafters and you probably have used these paint stir sticks before. But if not, let me tell you what they are. Okay, these happen to be from either Lowe's or Home Depot, I can't remember which, but you can pick these up at Walmart, you can get them on Amazon, you can get them at Ace, I mean you can get them everywhere. And they're basically just what you stir paint with. This is a 1 gallon size, and these you get 10 of these for $1 where I buy them. And this is a 5 gallon size, and you get 3 of these for $1. And you can do a ton of different things with them. You could paint them, you can leave them, you know, natural, and you can use the side that has no writing, or let me come close and see if you can see. Or this, you can use the side that has the measurements along it. You can even stain them. These ones happen to be stained in brown, but you could do any color stain. So, and I have done a lot of different things. Let me grab these. I mean, a lot. So, I'm just gonna show you a couple things. Seems like I had something else in here. I don't know. Okay, this was something I did last year with the 1 gallon. Paint stir sticks, and I stained it, and then I stenciled it. Did you know you can stencil on these? I mean, and it looks so awesome. And then I just tied these little beads around it. This is what the back looks like. And I'm hanging it on this. Sorry, my husband's printing, and the printer is here in this office. And then this is another one I made where I mixed it up, a few painted ones with some stained. And this is another stencil. They're all from Magnolia, and my website, if you want to go look, is magnoliadiy.com. So those are, I'll just set these right here. Gosh, I really was thinking that I had another one. Well, I've done tons of them. Anyways, so you can make signs out of them, and you can also make something that looks almost like a little picket fence. We're using the 5 gallon size and then the 1 gallon on the back as our braces. So I'm gonna talk you through this. All right, essentially what I did before I came live is I laid all of my, let me show you with these. I just laid them out how I wanted them. And with these ones that we're using on this big piece, I wanted a space, okay? So I laid them like that, and then once I got them situated, I'm using this actually as the brace. I did 2 things. I used both hot glue and E6000. The hot glue was to get it to be in place and stay right now. The E6000 is so that this is going to stay together permanently. And this is the kind that I like to buy, these little tubes. I can't remember where I got this, maybe Walmart. I think you can get E6000 at Dollar Tree also. So I just put a blob on these that are the brace, a blob of E6000 at each spot, and then a blob of hot glue. And then I pressed it down, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is the back. And you can see where, I mean, I was super generous with the E6000. I put that on the top of this, and then I put hot glue below. So I have 2 braces right now. We're gonna add a 3rd one. We're gonna make it look almost like the door to a picket fence. And you know how they have that little bit that has an angle? I'm assuming that you do. So this is what we're gonna do. All right, and I am using my low temperature hot glue gun, which I have been using it all day long, you guys, because I have been crafting. And so I want to show you how I am now cleaning it, because the glue strings drive me nuts. This is a dryer sheet, and while it's hot, or after you've just turned it off, I'm just wiping away all of the strings. And whoops, just knocked off my little leg thing. Oh well, this is how nice it looks now. Alrighty, so put some dryer sheets in your craft room, in whatever drawer or however you store your hot glue gun, so that you'll have one handy to clean it off, because there's nothing more annoying than having a ton of glue strings on everything. Okay, and I'm gonna just show you basically what I did. I'm gonna move this down. I essentially just eyeballed where my little brace was gonna go, and I put a blob of E6000 . Maybe this seems like overkill to you guys, but if you just do the E6000, it takes a long time to be thoroughly dry, and I am impatient. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my glue gun, and I'll move the camera down in just a second, and I'm just gonna put a blob of hot glue below it. And then we will figure out our placement. And in just a second, I'll be able to lift it up, because the hot glue will hold it in place while the E6000 is drying. I have made these when I first started using these paint stir sticks. I made them just with hot glue, and you know what? After a few months, they started to fall apart. So do both, E6000 and hot glue. All right, so here's our little picket fence. It's gonna be adorable. Okay, and let me figure out where I can set it for a few minutes while we do the flowers. And we're also gonna make a little pouch. And then we're gonna stencil a little sign to hang on our picket fence garden gate. So what do you guys think so far? Do you like the start of this project? I don't know what I'm calling these flowers. They're another kind of stuffed flowers, which obviously I'm completely obsessed with, because these are the ones that we did, I think, last week or the week before. Are these cute or what? If you didn't see this video, it's here at DiyDreaming, and if you just click on the videos tab, you should be able to scroll down. I label everything really well and find it and watch that, because that was really a fun craft. And this one is really cute too. And it's the same kind of idea, but without all the layers. And this is a little more abstract, and these are just really fun. So, okay, so what I did to start with the blue ones is a few years ago, I had a friend who was a decorator, and she was clearing out her fabric books that were no longer, you know, that she couldn't sell those fabrics anymore because the manufacturers weren't offering them anymore. And so I went over to her house and brought home a whole bunch, and then I took them apart, and these are just some of the pieces of the fabric that I had. I was looking for things that were blues, and then look at this. Is that cute or what? I'm gonna do something with that. I don't know what. Blues and You could literally use any fabric. Look how awesome that is. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but something. So I have a whole cabinet back here of these kinds of fabrics that are samples. And if you have a connection at a fabric store, you might ask them if they have any books that are expired that they'd be willing to donate to you or buy for a few dollars. Each one of them is going to have some kind of this stuff on the back of it, which is difficult to get off. Sometimes it goes all the way around. That is kind of a pain, but you can work around it and use the pieces that don't have that on it. So this piece that I was using, I've got so many things on my desk, it's not even funny. I used every single scrap of it except for the part that had the label on it. And I still might be able to do something with that. I just love this fabric. I'm not getting rid of it just yet. Okay, and then what I did to make these flowers, we'll have to add some leaves, and I'll do that maybe tomorrow. What I did to make these, I'm going to show you, and we're going to make another one in the burlap. Okay. Let me grab a piece of fabric and we'll do it with this. All right, I used this Walmart duck cloth for the back of this one because I was being so careful to not use up all of this amazing print. So I used the white on the back. But with this one that we're gonna make here, we'll make it two-sided, okay? And I'm just going to fold this over, get my good scissors out. They're hiding over here. And just cut ourselves a square. All right, so this is a long piece that I'm folding in half because I'm gonna cut the front and the back out at the same time. I mean, why would I cut them out separately if I could do them all at once? And I'm gonna grab just a little straight pin to hold my two pieces together. Whoops, that one's bent. So I hope you guys aren't getting sick of flowers because I'm still obsessing about them. We've made so many different kinds of flowers here at DiyDreaming, it isn't even funny. I won't do it every day, but I do like to do my flowers. And I'm just gonna cut out this shape that just is freeform with kind of wavy parts to it, sort of in a circle shape, roughly. This is the great thing about this kind of flower is that you're not going to use a pattern or anything. You're just going to freehand this. And the wonkier, the better. So if it ends up being more like a free-form oval, that is a-okay. All right, that's my shape. And if I was trying to save fabric like I was with these, I would just pin my cotton duck cloth that you can buy off the bolt, or this is the Waverly brand. It's a little bit thin. It's not my favorite, but it's from Walmart. I would just pin them together and go from there. All right, let me put my little pin back and get my crafting. We are crafting on my Wilton's cake board today. You can get these at Walmart for about $4. I love to work on these. They protect my desk from having all kinds of lumps from hot glue and that kind of thing. All right, and then we're using this kind of twine today. I honestly cannot remember where I got this. It's DiyDreaming brand, but you can get something similar everywhere. Or you could use that polished hemp that I love so much if you have that from Walmart. And the first thing I'm gonna do, and I'm just using regular hot glue. This is not the special fabric hot glue. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say that this is the front because it has the most color on it, is I'm just gonna start a little spiral. And then I'm basically laying my piece of twine into it. Try not to put your fingers in the glue because that will smush it out. I'll lift this up in just a second and show you. Let's cut a piece because we're not going to use more than that. No way. Can you see what I'm saying? So I'm just starting it. Use what you have. If you have a kind of twine or hemp or something of that sort, that will work just fine. What is this little piece right here that's bugging me? Okay, and now we're just going to start doing like a spiral around and around and around, and you're just bending your little bit of twine and pushing it in. Somebody told me I need to, as I'm showing the steps, I need to freeze for a second because a lot of you guys take screenshots, which I was thinking that you took screenshots at the very end, but apparently a lot of you guys take screenshots as we're going along, so I'll try to remember. And so I am just going to keep doing my little spiral shape and pushing my twine into it. The first few that I made look messy because I kept getting my fingers in the glue and that was smushing it. But now I've gotten the knack of it, and you really just want to basically lay your twine into your little bead of glue and not get your fingers in it at all. You can keep going around however long you want. It's totally up to you. And when I'm done, I'll show you what I usually do. Okay, I just did what I was telling you not to do. This is a good project to use a low temperature hot glue gun for. Seriously, and if you don't have one, I talk about this thing every day. I wish I had some deal with Surebonder that they would, I don't know, send me a commission for all of these that I tell people to get. But it's called a Cool Shot. It's under $10. You can get them at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, pretty much everywhere. And I feel like it's maybe even a little bit lower temperature than a regular low temperature glue gun. So to me, it's totally worth it. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and I'm going to end it just by bringing it back to just by taking this little piece and bringing it down so it connects with the rest of it. All right, here is our flower, the front of it. And I think the spiral in this twine is what gives this fabric, this flower, its personality. Now, the next thing you can do, if you want, is you can add a wood piece. You could do bling. I mean, you could do whatever you want. But for a few of mine, like this one and this one, I just took a wood bead and put it in the center. And I was looking, these are just a variety of ones I have from all different sources. Some of these came from Amazon. So I just have a smaller one, and I could literally just glue that in the center. Let's go ahead and do that. This was a terrible day to wear a black dress because I have been covered in strings and fabric bits all day long. Okay, and that is what our front looks like. Now I'm going to start gluing the two together, if I can remember how it goes. Yep. And I'm going to leave a spot open to stuff it and also to put a dowel in it. And for these flowers, I was out of my Hobby Lobby dowels, but I did have these from Walmart. They were, I don't know how much I paid for them. They were not expensive. They're kind of with the kitty craft stuff. You get 16 pieces. They're a little bit thinner dowels than what I had before, and you can cut them shorter if you want because they're not super thick. You don't have to have a chainsaw to cut them. Let's get one of these out. And I'm going to flip this over so that you can maybe see a little better. All right. I have pretty much decided that I want this to be the bottom right here. So look at your flower before you start gluing so that you make sure that you leave the right part open. And I'm just going to start at the top, and I'm just going to go around the little whatever you want to call those, wavy parts. And let's glue some on the other side. We'll leave about this much open. Once I get the glue down, I'm just pinching it so it's flat as much as possible and I don't have a big lump. And if you have glue poking out at the edges, you can just cut that off. Okay, the next step is where it gets really fun. Hey, but don't leave me because I have something really fun to show you how we're gonna attach our flowers to our little picket fence. And I'm just using, what is this stuff called? Polyfill Ultra Plush from Walmart. Polyfill Ultra Plush from Walmart. The bag's fallen apart and there's this stuffing everywhere, so I can't pick it up to show you. Where's my hole? Where is that? Here we go. This is the spot that I left open. And just a little bit at a time, stuffing it and kind of pushing it out to the edges. This is so easy. I love everything stuffed, from carrots to bunnies. We did lemons. I mean, there's just so many things. Christmas trees we did last year at Christmas time. There's so many things that you can stuff that are fun to make and cost almost nothing. And then you can make your little flowers as fluffy and stuff them as full as whatever you like. This is totally personal preference. Okay, and here's my little flower. And I am just going to take my little dowel from Walmart and work it into the center of all this stuffing. I think I need a little bit more. And then I'm going to glue the two edges together, and I'm going to be sure to put some glue on the top of the dowel. This is the hardest part of this project because your stuffing is going to try to come out. And also this is when you could get, if you're using hot glue, this is when you could really get it on yourself and really burn yourself. Because you can see how my hot glue is poking out right here. So definitely use a low temperature hot glue gun. All right, and I'm just going to trim this up a little bit, and then I'm going to show you something that I just did for fun. I don't even know why I thought of it, but the spot where you stick the stuffing in can get your fabric kind of frayed and messy looking, which is fine if that's what you're going for. Okay, then I just took some of my beads. They had, the medium size here had almost exactly the same diameter hole as, that one's not straight, as my dowel. Okay, what is going on here? I need to loosen this up just a smidge, and you can do that by just taking some scissors and putting it in the hole and just going around. There might be like a little piece of wood inside of it that didn't get cut or sanded or something. Well, heck. Okay, I give up. Let's get a different one. Let's get one that looks good. Because I didn't have this problem with any of the others. I just put one bead just below where the little flower is. And it's tight enough that it stays. But if yours isn't and you want to do that, you can just add a little bead. You can put a bead of glue underneath it and then push your bead in your thing into it. So this doesn't go with these other flowers, but it's the same kind of idea, except I used the fabric for both sides. Okay, aren't those cute? What should I call these? That is something I have been struggling with, is what to call the different flowers that we make here. Okay, let's make them to go with this set. Look how cute these are. And here's the little twirly one. Here's the little twirly one just with the last scrap of fabric that I had. I made this one. And for this one, I put a round bead at the very top of my dowel. You can clean up some of the scraps. Okay, and this is kind of a surprise how this worked out. It's super cute. I didn't know if it would even work at all. So let's make a flower, and then I'll show you how to do this. And then we'll make the little pouch that we're going to attach our flowers to our picket fence, and then we'll stencil the sign. So there's still lots more ovals. Yeah, totally. Lots more coming. So, oh wait, what did she call that? Lop flowers? What was that? Lollipop flowers. Oh, that's a super cute idea. Oh, here's one. Swirl puff flowers. Love that. keep giving me suggestions. Funky stuffed flowers. That is probably super appropriate because these are kind of funky. Okay, I found this burlap. I don't know how many yards it was, but it was in a package and they had a big variety of different styles at my local Walmart. I'll try to grab some pictures of the packaging and put those in the comments. And at the same time that I grabbed this, I also grabbed this little spool that had these two kinds of burlap ribbon. And this burlap ribbon was like $4 and this was like $7 or $8. So it was a ton of fabric, super affordable. And they had, oh my gosh, they had all kinds of different things. If you have not shopped your local Walmart for craft supplies lately, you should go check it out. And I know a lot of people don't like Walmart. I like it. I hate the fact that I have to check myself out every time I go to mine, but I like Walmart for craft supplies. And the reason is I can go in for groceries and then whiz through the craft department and there's always something that I absolutely gotta have. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with this that we did with the other one. Let's see, let's do a smaller flower. Oh, these scissors are terrible. And I'm going to pin two pieces together and then we'll cut our little wavy border around it. And the burlap is gonna kind of fray, and I think that gives it some charm. So don't worry about that. If your edges are kind of pulling apart a little bit. This is going to be a funky shape. Looks like a little gingerbread man almost. Cut the front and the back at the same time. Now we are going to decide which side would be better for the front. And I think it really doesn't matter, but this one has more of the white dots on it, so we'll do this one as the front. Just put my pin there. Okay, same deal. This has a lot of pieces of wood in it. Let me get a spot where it's not so woody. Ooh, we could do some cute little tie. Oh my gosh, I just thought of something. We could put some cute little bows or scarves or little ties on them. All right. I'm just going to start in the center. This is going to be a much smaller swirl. And it's going to be a tighter one too, so take your time getting your twine to go into it. It's going to want to try to straighten out. Here's the start. continue on giving me your name suggestions for these flowers, please. And I will look at all of your comments when I'm finished. Go a little bit further and then attach it to the twirl here, right here. Here we go. Okay, and now we're going to glue our two sides together. We need to decide, I think this is where I want the bottom to be. Make sure that you get the outside to the outside, if that makes any sense. And you know, I don't know if it's better to use less glue or more glue on the burlap. I don't think it really makes any difference. Just make sure that you're using a low temperature glue. Okay, this is something one of my followers sent me. It's a finger. It's a finger for hot glue. I don't know where she got this part, but these little pink finger things are something that you can pick up at your local Dollar Tree, and you can use them, you know, to protect your fingers. So this follower put it on this and sent it to me, which I thought was so super nice, because I guess she had seen me struggling to not get the glue all over myself. Okay, I'm gonna do this side. And then I'm going to do this side. And when I'm done with this one, this will just take a few more minutes. Then we'll do this. And then we'll move on to the little picket fence gate or whatever. Okay, I left the bottom open, because that is where we're going to insert our fluff and also where we're going to insert our dowel. And I'm going to show you how to cut the dowels shorter, what worked for me. This is where your burlap is going to fray a little bit. That's okay. And the white stuffing does show a little bit, but I don't think it's like super obvious what it is or looks bad at all. All right, here's our little flower. And where are my dowels? Here they are. And let's cut this a little bit shorter. Okay, where did I put that? I had a tool out. There's somewhere. Oh, there it is. This is just a wire cutter thingy-mabob, but I'm just going to use it to pinch my dowel. And then these ones are short enough that you can literally just break it and then cut this really sharp part off. Don't use your good scissors to do this part. I could have left that the same length as everything else if I had wanted, but I wanted it a little bit shorter. And now I'm just gonna glue the bottom closed, get that darn fluff out of the way. Oh, and I need another glue stick. Funky funky stuffed flowers. Oh, my comments haven't moved in a while. I hope I'm still live. Is everybody still there? Oh, I haven't seen any of your comments. I'm sorry. For everybody who's here, I did want to mention one thing. And that is that a lot of the crafting pages are getting hacked, mine included. I have this odd person, and I have done everything to try to fix it from my end. I have this odd person who keeps posting pictures, and her page is also named DiyDreaming. Don't give me any angry faces because that hurts my reach, by the way. But I cannot see her from my side for some reason. So what I wanted to ask you guys is if you happen to stumble on that hacker's fake version of my page, DiyDreaming, would you, one, take a screenshot of it if you know how to do that, and two, report it to Facebook? That would be awesome. That's what would help me the most. Let's trim off some of these pieces that are fraying. We could add another little, a little bead underneath so it all goes together. Now, this is really cute. Let me show you how I did this. I was telling you that Walmart also had these burlap ribbons that are perfect. So just decide however long you want it to be. And if you have too much, you can use it on another one. And this is just like the loopy flowers. We're gonna glue the two sides together at the edge. I hope you guys aren't getting bored. I know this is taking a while because it's a whole new flower and then all the paint stir stick garden gate stuff. But if you need to come back and watch part of this on replay, you can do that. And just in case you didn't know, you can comment on replays. You don't have to be watching it live to be able to comment. And I do go back multiple times and read the comments from older videos. So I'm not going to miss what you have to say if you need to watch something on replay. I think this is going to be way too long. So we'll just do part of it for time's sake. We'll do a short one, but I'm going to glue the whole thing together. And I'll hold this up so you can see what I'm talking about. What makes this look like a piece of lavender, or I think it's hyacinth, is the fact that you're twirling it down on your dowel. Okay, so I've just glued the two edges together, and then just like any other loopy flower, you're gonna cut small slits to the glue. Don't cut all the way through. You can cut them close or far, whatever you like. I'll hold this up in just a second. If you guys make any of these, whatever we end up calling them, I want to see pictures. So post them over at Dreamy DIY or here in the comments, but over at Dreamy DIY is the best place to post them because that way everyone can see them and get ideas. Okay, this might not be enough, but let's say it's sufficient. All right, can you see how I just made these little snips? Now I'm going to take a dowel and at the top, I'm going to do, at the very, very top, I'm just going to put some glue all the way around it. We're not going to put a bead on this one. And you're literally going to start just by gluing your little fringy thing all the way around it once. Let that dry. Can you see? And then you're going to start pulling it down, and you're going to do a little glue as you're going along. You're just winding it on your dowel as you're pulling it down at an angle. Definitely need low temperature hot glue for this. Okay, let me show you up close. Can you see how I'm literally just pulling it down and winding it around and gluing it? That is all there is to it. And you could make these loops a lot bigger if you wanted, if you had some wider. You could do this with fabric, you could do it with any kind of ribbon. You could make this a lot longer, and that's just based on how wide your ribbon is when you start the process of folding it in half and gluing it and then cutting the little slits. See how quick this goes. I love this burlap from Walmart. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. Initially, I thought that maybe I would make a table runner, and I still may, but these flowers are pretty fun. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit shorter because I was impatient and I didn't want you to have to wait. So I could just start with this piece that I have all ready to go. Where did it go? Right here. Cut some more strips and then just glue it on the rest of the way. Okie dokie. We have, in each color now, we have 3 flowers and 1 of these. And I would probably do 2 of these in each thing because you want an odd number. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Something like that. And we could just put them in a pot, just like these stuffed goodies, and just push them into some floral foam, put a little bit of moss on the top, and that would be super cute. But we're going to make ours to go in a little pouch on a garden, a Picket garden. Where did it go? Here it is. A Picket garden fence. Here's the back. Remember, if you're joining me now, I suggest that you go back to the beginning and watch this from the start because I talked about the 2 different kinds of glue that I used and why that's important. So this is the back and here's the front. And it really does kind of look like a little picket fence gate or just a piece of a fence. Okay, and in the past, I've done projects kind of like this just on wood signs, and I had some of those little pouches that have a drawstring, and I used that to hold my flowers, and you could even stencil it if you want, but I can't find those. You know you have too many craft supplies when you cannot find the craft supplies that you really need. So instead, we're just going to use this piece of ironed painter's drop cloth. This is like the last piece I have. I really have got to go get some more. And it's kind of stiff, which is good for this project. And I'm going to look at the scale. Let me measure this. I don't know where I've lost my ruler also. So let's see, if I had to eyeball it, I would say this is about 5 inches wide, roughly. It can be any size. And I am just going to glue it closed, but I want to look at the scale and see how this looks. And we're going to actually glue our flowers onto the gate, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I think it could be a little bit shorter, so I'll just do it in half. And I have frayed my edges. You know, you just take a string and pull it. Here's one. This is fun fabric to rip also. Okay. So we're just creating our own little pouch. And I'm not using special fabric glue. I'm just using my basic low temperature hot glue gun for this. So one side of it is glued. Let's do the other side. My craft room is a disaster. Oh my gosh. I have so many strings, little pieces of burlap and stuff on the floor. It's not even funny. And then I have a ton of it on my dress as well. Okay, here is our little pouch that we made. I might come back and do a stencil on it. That would be really cute. And Magnolia, I didn't get my links. I'm sorry, I forgot. But if you want to look at any of the stencils that Magnolia has, and they have some adorable ones, just go to magnoliadiy.com. All smushed together, magnoliadiy.com. That's my website. And you can look at everything there. So I made this little pouch. Nothing fancy about it. And I think I will glue it on, what the heck. And we're going to stuff it, but I'm going to put it off to the side here at the bottom. Maybe not all the way at the bottom, but kind of over here. All right. And I'm just going to make more glue. I do want it to be down good, so feel free to do a lot of glue if you want. Okie dokie. This is our little flower pouch right here. Okay, now we're going to put a little stuff and fluff in it. And you could do a little bit of moss or Spanish moss or something peeking out of the top of it if you wanted. Ooh, I've got this pretty tight. Maybe I should not have glued it down so solidly. Just want that to have a little dimension. Moving the stuffing down and out to the edges with my scissors. And I think I'll come back after I'm all finished and stuff it a little bit more. Okay, then the next step is to fiddle around with your flowers and how you want them. Oh my gosh, this is so absolutely adorable. I'll show you this project with the flowers in this blue. And then I'll also show it to you, I'm not going to glue anything down right now, with the white and the burlap. Is that cute? Or what? Give me some hearts. What do people say? Slam the hearts and the thumbs to tell me if you like our little garden gate. I'm trying really hard to keep things mixed up here at DiyDreaming because I don't want anyone to get bored or say, she always does the same thing every day. I mean, other than saying that I always do things that are related to faith, family, and flowers, that's fine. But I don't want you to get bored here. So I thought this would be super cute. Okay, let's show it to you with the other flowers. And I would put a blob of glue on the back of each flower so it will stay in place. And you can cut these the dowels shorter if you decide that you want it to, you know, go any specific direction. Where's that short one? Let's try this one too. This is pretty darn cute also. I don't know which one I'm gonna do. Look. Is that cute or what? I wanna see yours. That's like one of the things that I love the most about crafting here at Facebook is that when I do an idea and you guys like it, then you do it. But you have time to think about it. And your projects always turn out so much better than mine. Anyways, okay, let's go back to that blue. I'm not gonna glue it down just yet, but we'll put things in place like they might end up, and then we'll do the next step. I might take all that fluff out and start over, off camera. And I also might cut the dowels a little bit shorter so I can get them in there further. All right, so then the next thing is you could tie a ribbon on there if you wanted, but we're gonna use one of these little signs that came from Dollar Tree. This was not the most ideal shape for this project, although it's cute. It was $1 at Dollar Tree. But it's what I have, so it's what I'm gonna show you. Okay, let's move this up. And I wanna tell you what I did to prepare this to stencil on it. And Magnolia does have a ton of cute smaller stencils. Depending on what size of a little sign you get for your Picket garden fence with your funky fluffy flowers or whatever we decide to call them, poppy petals, whatever we decide to call them. They have so many cute stencils, so you should take a peek. It's magnoliadiy.com. Okay, we're gonna use this one, which is a really cute stencil. We're just gonna use the word. If I had a bigger piece though, I would probably get some of these little flowers here at the bottom. And this says bloom where you're planted. All right, and before I came live, you could do two things with wood. You pretty much, it's out in the other room. Okay, here's another bottle. No, this is white paint. Shoot. Oh, well, I'll just tell you about it. When you're working on wood and gonna stencil on wood, wood has pores, whether you've painted it, stained it, or left it natural. And what happens a lot of times is you put a medium, chalk paste, whatever it is, even paint, on the top of a stencil, and it pulls that into the wood fibers and then it spreads it out. And you get this kind of fuzzy looking stencil that looks like you don't know how to use your stencils. But you can fix that in advance by spraying a clear matte sealer, like Rust-Oleum brand. It just needs to be clear, it needs to be matte, or it could be glossy if you want that look. Sealer, a spray sealer on it. That closes down the pores. Or today, I had this out. I just used my clear beeswax from Amy Howard with a little cloth. I put it on there and then I buffed it off and it's sealed. It's, you know, those fibers are shut down, so they're not gonna grab. I have a ton of stuff on my desk. It's not gonna grab the stencil and make it look really messy. I was kind of thinking that we might use the blue flowers. So I got out some blue chalk paste, and this is what we're gonna do. But you could use whatever color you want. With Magnolia, the little tubs or little pots that have black lids, those are chalk paste. And I'm just gonna use a little spreader. This could use a little spritz of distilled water. I am terrible about leaving my lids off while I'm working, and that just can make your chalk paste get a little bit thick, which you don't want. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you can just add some distilled water and stir it up and it'll be as good as new. Do not put regular tap water in there or even bottled water, because that will have stuff in it which can cause your chalk paste to start to grow some mold or something on it. Okay, and these Magnolia stencils are super sticky. You've heard me say this 150 times, but I'm going to fuzz this before I use it so that I don't have a hard time getting it up, and so I don't stretch it out when I'm trying to remove it. We're only going to do the word blue. They have a stencil that says Home Sweet Home. That would be super cute. Okay, and I want to kind of eyeball to see where to put this on, that I can get most of it on there, and then I'm going to look at the back. Nope, it's crooked. I don't want it. I don't want that word on there crooked. So that might be a little bit better. Let me flip it over and I'm not a perfectionist, I promise. I just don't want this to be super crooked. Okay, I think that's better. So I've just burnished my stencil onto my little piece of wood that is going to be the sign on the garden gate. Part of the M is hanging over the edge, and that is okay. I just won't do that part. And I'm just going to use a squeegee, and I am going to be conservative and not use too much chalk paste and not go over and over and over it, because when you do that, you're increasing the chances that you'll make a mistake, go outside the lines, or do something that you don't want, or even push some of your medium underneath the edge of the stencil, and that doesn't look great. Okay, I have a big blob of chalk paste on my desk that I want to get off because I don't want it to stain my desk. I've been trying to be really careful not to get gouges in my desk, or I might have to use a little bit of scrub stuff to get that off. Okay, this is what it looks like. The stencil's attached to my table. And I'm just going to pull it off slowly. It looks great. Awesome. And I'm going to throw this in the little tub of water that I have over here, face down, and push it under the water so that it can start soaking, and it will be ready to just be thrown in the sink and sprayed when I'm all done. Okay, this is what we have. Honestly, you could do whatever you want on the little sign. Let's see, I have so much stuff on my table, I don't know where to put anything. My crafting desk is full. Okay. So this is our little gate. And I'll show you how you can do a hanger also. But you could literally just attach your, it doesn't need this string on it. You could attach this wherever you might want it. Here, or down here, you know, right here. It can hang off the side just a little bit. It could be hanging wonky. That's cute right there. It's completely up to you, but I think it's nice to have a little sign on your garden gate. What do you guys think? Look at the stencils that Magnolia has if you want to do this project, and then look at your local Dollar Tree, because that's the best place to get these little wood things, and see what shapes they have. And okay, so I want to show you how to create a hanger for your project, and I'm just going to use more of this. Although I would probably use my Polish Town in real life. Okay, I am just going to run this through my first little part of my garden and tie a knot back here. Then we're going to do the same thing here. Let's see, I think I started from the front to the back. And we're going to see how high would we want this to hang. I mean, that's personal preference also. I'm just going to tie another little knot right here. You could put a little dab of hot glue on your knot if you wanted. And, okay, stand up, Mr. Flower. And there you go. There's your hanger. So let me come close and just show you that. See, I just tied it around this first brace. And all these braces have two kinds of glue. If you missed the beginning, go back and listen to that, because that part is important. So what I want to know from you guys is, we'll just take this little bloom thing out of the picture for right this moment. What I want to know is, which set of flowers do you like the best? Do you like these blue ones, or do you like these burlap with little white dots? What would you be more likely to use if you were going to make this garden gate? Would you be more likely to use a printed bright color fabric like this? Or would you be more likely to do a burlap something? Tell me that in the comments. and I will look to see. And I'll let you guys know which got the most votes. But, well, and also, if you missed the part where I was saying that I'd love for you to help me name these flowers, tell me in the comments what you think we should call them. Okie dokie. I know it took a while to get here. It was a lot of ground to cover, but I think it turned out adorable. This is a super affordable project. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about $3.50 into the Pickets, or the actual paint stir sticks. Nothing into the fabric pouch, and hardly anything into the flowers. Nothing really into this. This is a piece of fabric that I had. Other than the dowels and the little beads, I mean, this whole project was probably under $5. And it has a ton of personality, especially if you do some kind of a sign. You can do your placement however you like it. You can make your flowers whatever size appeals to you. So you could do a sign right here. You could do a sign at the bottom. It's just, there's so many different things that you could do. So I hope that you liked this project, and I'm gonna lay these things down for just a second in case you wanna do a screenshot. Let me come up close and see if you can see it from there. I will share pictures. And I have been working on this thing today. Funny story, this is just some burlap that I painted, and then I painted this USA piece of MDF, and then I stenciled it. I had it laying out in the grass because I was spraying it with my clear matte sealer, and my husband turned on the sprinklers. So this morning I forgot it. It was still out there. He threw it in the garage. It dried just fine. I think it was the clear matte sealer that saved the day. And it's pretty much dry now, so no harm, no foul. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you loved this idea. Please sprinkle to your social media, which, if you don't know what sprinkle is, it's like a code word. I don't even know why we say it, but it just means to take this video and put it on your Facebook page. And there's a little button down below that says share. That helps me, because then new people see something that I've done and say, oh, I like flowers. Maybe I should follow DIY Dreaming. So anyways, feel free to sprinkle. Let me know if you have any questions. If there's a specific stencil or color of chalk paste that you want a link for, let me know. If you just want a link to go look at Magnolia, at the stencils and different things that they have, just write link. If you want, you can just go to magnoliadiy.com, and that is pretty much it. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for sure. And I'll get pictures of all of this and put this here in the comments and also on DIY Dreaming. Alrighty, thank you guys. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you so much for the stars. Thank you for all your encouraging comments. Thank you for giving me ideas for what to call this. And really, just thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos and then, you know, be sweet to me and tell me that you like what I'm doing. That is the best in the whole world. Okay. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow.